This mind map then is about the particle model of matter. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work around the mind map. Firstly, states of matter. We've got solids, liquids, and gases. And what you've got to do is you've got to know the properties of the solids, the liquids, and gases, right? In as much detail as you possibly can, like the particle arrangement, amount of energy, forces between. The required practical is the density practical. And what you've got to be able to do on that is you need to be able to work out the density of a regular shaped object, like a cube, where what you can do is you can work out the mass on a mass balance, and you can work out the volume using a ruler. You can work out a irregular shaped object. That is then the main one that is then part of the required practical, which is using your eureka can, where the water comes out of the spout and you can collect the volume. And the final one is then where you work out the density of a liquid. Okay, if you're working out the density of liquid, you use a mass balance, right, to work out the mass, and you can use a measuring cylinder then to work out the volume. Internal energy. You need to know the definition. Okay, so the definition of the internal energy, right, and that is all to do with potential energy, kinetic energy, and systems. So really the definition leads in to potential energy, kinetic energy, and the system that's involved. Specific latent heat, right? I'm just going to write it down as specific latent heat definition. You need to know the specific latent heat of fusion, vaporization. You need to know about heating and cooling graphs. So what they do is they look a bit like this. You need to know the units, which is joules per kilogram. And you also, one of the things, and I don't know why I always forget it, it's always to do with no change of state. So specific latent heat, and its fusion and vaporization, heating, cooling graphs, units, and no change of state. Specific heat capacity, you need to know the definition. And you also need to know the units, which are a bit unusual, joules per kilogram degrees C. Density, you need to know the equation. Okay, it's one of those ones that comes up a huge amount, right, and you need to know the equation for it. And then you also need to know the definition of what density actually is.